with the electric usage, with such high demand, our grid, I don't believe can sustain something like that. And in the end, we're going to end up paying for all this. So, between the amount we're going to end up having to pay on our bills and the time we're going to spend down without having power, it's a big concern. This data center's estimated to use about 5 million gallons of water a day. This is a highly agricultural area. Can they both coexist, or is it going to just end up draining the aquifer and the farmers lose out on the water that they need to grow the crops? People were asking some good questions. They do have some legitimate concerns, especially with the air quality and things in the area.
Do you think providing so much resources for AI is a good thing?
Not if it's costing jobs in the long run. We've seen major layoffs just last month with AI coming in. We're investing a lot of money into technology that's going to potentially take even more jobs away.
From New Orleans, Louisiana, and I am with Sierra Club Delta chapter. We are the Louisiana chapter of the nation's largest and oldest grassroots environmental organization.
What questions are you asking of the new Meta site?
Yeah, so we're just asking both of Meta and Entergy, as well as local and statewide officials, to have some transparency on this and to let local members of the community really understand what they're getting when they get this project in their community.
What are your concerns?
Our concerns, particularly ahead of the DEQ air permit hearing tomorrow, is about air pollution, primarily with the new natural gas plants, but also concerns about water and the utility of this and the ratepayers and how we will be impacted as ratepayers.
Are you skeptical of Meta when they say that Meta is going to pay for it and it won't be passed along to Entergy ratepayers?
Yeah, I'm super skeptical of Meta as well as Entergy, just because what we've seen in other states is that ratepayers get the worst end of the deal. And I've also, compared to other states, have heard from other communities that Louisiana actually got a really bad deal when it came to the Entergy decision in the summer.
What makes it so bad for Louisiana?
So essentially just with the 30-year commitment that was made, or the 30-year settlement, only 15 years of that is and Entergy responsible for covering the cost. And so the rest of those years, or Meta responsible for covering the cost. And so the rest of those years, we are responsible, and that's a concern.
I was under the understanding that after the 15 years, they would renegotiate. Will Meta renegotiate? Or what will happen?
Yeah, that's not necessarily required. I mean, they can imply that they will renegotiate. But in other communities, I mean, there's also the implication that AI is in a bubble and that it may not even be relevant 50 years from now.
Wow, that's a lot. What do you think about the turnout here?
It's incredible. I'm grateful to the community, and I'm grateful for both the turnout and the interest. And even for folks who are not able to make it, we're going to be following up with them and staying in communication.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Just for folks who were not able to make it, or folks who are here tonight, just pay attention to the air permit hearing tomorrow night, and comments are due on the 20th of November, so you have a couple extra days beyond the 18th.
We're worried about water being drinkable and usable for not only farmers, but for children and for families across Louisiana. We're worried about the costs it'll have on people, the people who live here, the cost to their electricity bill. Many people are going to be priced out of where they live. They're not going to be able to afford their AC or their heating in the winter. They're not going to be able to afford watching TV or keeping the lights on. That's a problem. We want to stick to that. We want to speak to the fact that we're going to destroy a lot of, the development of the Meta data facility is going to destroy infrastructure throughout the state. These trucks are not going to be tiptoeing across the streets. They're going to destroy the streets that people in these communities just desperately need. And these roads aren't well funded to begin with. They haven't been developed in years. Those are the main problems I see from the Meta data facility. Also,
John, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I left off one.
That's fine.
Meta's not going to be bringing in a ton of jobs. The jobs that you need to run these kind of facilities are highly specialized and require highly experienced people to come in. So we're selling out our entire government for some people to come in for a couple of years and then leave when their work is done. The facility will stay. It'll be us. It'll be the people of Louisiana who have to deal with worse water, worse roads, with worse infrastructure.
Explain the difference between a GPU and a CPU so folks can understand what's going on there.
Yeah, so it gets complicated really quickly when you talk about computers. So I'll keep it a nice, simple metaphor. CPUs are like the brain of the computer. And CPU thinks one after the other. So if I solve 2 plus 2 equals 4, 4 plus 4 equals 8. And they go one after the other after the other. GPUs do a bunch of decisions at the same time. And so this is what causes GPUs to need a lot more power, a lot more energy, right? This is why facilities like in AI plants, right, AI factories need so much power, because they're using tons and tons of these processing units that do a bunch of thoughts at the same time. That's the simplest way to go about explaining it.
Anything else you'd like to add from tonight about the community involvement and Mr. Cable's presentations?
I never stop being inspired by how people in this community and then in this state come out and just show up for themselves, for their neighborhoods, for their community. The people here are hurting, and they know that it's not going to get any better. Not unless we stand up and we do something about that. I think that Conrad and members of the organization that came out tonight, speaking to the issues that we're going to feel, not 20 years from now, but a year from now, 5 months from now. There are people here tonight who are speaking about the roads already being destroyed, about trucks already flipping over, about environmental damage already facing this state and these people. I'm grateful that we have the opportunity to speak out.